Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, I would like to introduce our senior class president, Elliot Gage, and call him to the stage.
Good evening, everyone. I am lucky to serve as the class president of the class of 2020. I know we're all happy to have the opportunity to celebrate this major stepping stone in our lives in such a strange and uncertain time. Today, we are here with friends and family to celebrate the beginning of our future. It's crazy. It seems like just yesterday was our first day of high school, with none of us knowing where to go or what to do. All of us imagined the day 4 years later when we'd be free. That day, a little later than usual, is today. The road here has not been easy. The last 4 years have been filled with many challenges and obstacles. We've all had long days with multiple tests and quizzes. It seemed like they never end. After-school activities, and on top of that, hours of homework. We are also the only class to ever face something as life-changing and challenging as COVID-19. But through all that life has thrown at us, we have stayed strong and made it here today. If I've learned anything through the last couple of months, it's that I'm incredibly blessed to grow up with such a remarkable group of people. We've been there for each other, and we are all stronger and better for it today. But now our paths will part, and we will begin our separate journeys. Although we may not be together physically, we will always remember the times here in Chelsea. The good, the bad, and these memories will forever be with us, no matter what adventures we go on or where life takes us. Chelsea will always be in our hearts. So as we complete this journey and venture out to begin our new journeys, I just have two things to say. I'll miss all y'all, and go Navy, beat Army. All right, please join Zane Manderson, Senior Class Vice President, as he leads us in the reciting the Pledge of Allegiance.
Would you please stand? Attention, salute, pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated.
Thank you, Zane. At this time, I would like to take the opportunity to recognize and thank our mayor, Mr. Tony Picklesheimer, for coming this evening. It's always special when we can have somebody represent our city and show the care and the investment that they have in Chelsea High School. So if you please give him a round of applause as he comes up here. Mayor.
Thank you very much. Good evening to all of you. I appreciate the opportunity to be here to address this significant moment in time, June 2nd, 2020. Let me begin by saying thank you to Dr. Lewis Brooks, the members of the Shelby County Board of Education, but most of all to the faculty here at Chelsea High School for the opportunity to be here at this commencement and to address this graduating class. This moment in time will undoubtedly be one that we will remember forever. To the graduates, my desire is to encourage you to make the most of it. I also want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Dr. Turner. I have watched you and spoke to you many times in the recent weeks as you worked so diligently and tireless with others in your faculty to make this event possible. The priority you gave this night will forever be appreciated. And from the class of 2020 and their parents and family members, and on behalf of our community, I want to say a very special thank you. To you, the graduating class of 2020, I want to offer you congratulations for a job well done, for a milestone achieved, and for preparing yourself to step on to the next platform of your life, whatever direction you choose for that to be. You see, this is not a pinnacle. You have not reached the top of the mountain, but rather you have now just earned the opportunity to begin to climb. The opportunity to take yourself wherever you choose to go, depending solely on yourself and the amount of hard work and determination that you choose to apply going forward. I know that the plans that you have made are as diverse as the group of you that sits in front of me now. And I look forward to the successes that you will experience as you move into the next stage of your life. I hope you will look back on this moment in time with pride, realizing what you've accomplished during a most difficult of times, but also with the realization that this was simply a starting point to writing the story of the rest of your life. Little did we know that the class that began first grade in 2007 would be a class that would see the end of their senior year of high school be one as significant as this has been. This moment of time will be one that we will all remember for many different reasons. You have sacrificed a portion of your life due to this pandemic, a virus that will cause changes in the way that we live our lives forever. With that, however, comes opportunity. You can be a catalyst of this change. Your sacrifice has presented you with a platform unlike any other class before you, and hopefully that no other will have to experience. My hope and prayer for you is that you will take this moment in time, that you will make it count in such a way that those who have supported you these 12 years of school will take pride in the way that you've responded to the challenges you've faced and the successes and setbacks that you will inevitably experience. In closing, this is a tremendous challenge for you, but as I've pointed out, it all creates an awesome opportunity. So go. Be all you can be. Make us all proud, but most of all, make yourself proud. Take this moment in time and make it the beginning of a life well lived. Congratulations again to the Chelsea High School class of 2020. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. I want to take this time as well to recognize some of the unsung heroes of not just putting this night together, but also working towards making Chelsea High School a great place to be throughout the year. That's our faculty, our staff, our Board of Education members, our central office. It's really a top-down organization that starts at the top and goes all the way. These people do a phenomenal job. Can we please give them a round of applause for their efforts and the work that they do? I would now like to invite our 2020 Salutatorian, Mr. Andrew Messier, to the podium to deliver the Salutatorian address.
Greetings, family, friends, teachers, administrators, and of course, my fellow graduates. I think I can speak on behalf of all my fellow classmates when I say thank you for joining us on this momentous and historic occasion. Without a doubt right now, life has certainly brought before us turmoil and many questions. However, in this time of uncertainty, today is a day of celebration. A celebration we have all earned as a result of hard work, dedication, and perseverance. To the class of 2020, it is such an honor to stand here representing you as salutatorian this day. Being a senior has definitely been feelings of mixed emotions for me. When I think back to March, senioritis was hitting harder than ever as we wrapped up the last day of the third 9 weeks. The next thing we knew, our final 9 weeks of high school were stripped away from us. Ironically enough, senior skip day was planned for that first Monday of the fourth quarter. I think it's safe to say our class has had the longest senior skip day in Chelsea history. As with many things, our class really knows how to do things right. The memories we have all made as a class, starting when we came together at Chelsea Intermediate all the way until today, have been amazing. Whether it was putting sporks in every corner of the middle school, dressing up in crazy attire for homecoming week, or storming the field after a hard-fought win in a football game, there is no doubt we have left a mark on the hallways, classrooms, athletic fields, and faculty of Chelsea. Overall, I cannot express how thankful and proud I am to be a Chelsea Hornet. To the teachers and administrators who made our education happen at Chelsea, thank you all for making our dreams possible. Your passion to help us learn drives us and allows us to be where we are today and to guide us to where we go tomorrow. To the people who make the complete high school experience possible, like our parents, family, coaches, club leaders, and counselors, we are forever grateful for when you pushed us to be better people at every moment of our lives. There is no doubt that without you all, none of these great memories would be attainable. As a student athlete, I've experienced these people's influence on my life. I've had a number of teachers and coaches who have helped me to become the best well-rounded individual I could be. It was not until recently, when the senior season for all spring athletes like myself was canceled due to the COVID-19 pandemic, that I truly realized how important these relationships are. Sometimes they say you do not know how much something really means to you until it's been taken from you. We all sure have found this out the hard way in 2020. However, from bad can come good. In the words of famous football coach Vince Lombardi, it's not whether you get knocked down, it's whether you get up. Our response to this virus is what will define us. We can wake up every day and have a good attitude and be proactive in our actions for life ahead, or you can live with a negative mindset, and as our coach Miller infamously says, eat your Cheetos and watch Tom and Jerry. Learning that we can overcome this pandemic struggle with the help of communities around the world is empowering. Without all the people I stood here and thanked today, we would not have a community. Community requires people who have a sense of fellowship with each other, as well as the sharing of common attitudes, interests, and goals. Having this unified group feeling is something alive and strong at Chelsea. Famous Alabamian Helen Keller puts this into context better than anything I could say. She said that alone we can do so little, together we can do so much. This phrase, although short and concise, speaks volumes to how we can have strength in numbers. We need this strength, especially in the challenging times we live in today. Every person here tonight, whether you're here physically or virtually, plays an important role in our communities. Whether you're a compassionate peer helper, a high-spirited bandmate, a driven athlete, an aspiring C-Tech member, a creative thespian, or just a caring friend, go forward and use your talents to fit into your future communities. My challenge to you, class of 2020, and anyone who happens to not yet be asleep in the crowd today, is to find your role. In order to be an effective group, we must have people who perform their parts. If we all excel in our roles, we will expand our communities and become stronger people every day. I wish you well as you go forward, and I hope you find your new community to positively impact as you start the next chapter of your life. God bless this class of 2020, and God bless America. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you, Andrew. I would now like to invite our 2020 valedictorian, Ms. Yessi Villanueva Navarro, to the podium to deliver the valedictorian address.
Good evening. I'm humbled to stand here as your class of 2020 Chelsea High School valedictorian. I want to start off by thanking everyone for being here today. Thank you to all the parents and family members for encouraging these students in their high school endeavors. Thank you, teachers and coaches of Chelsea High, for guiding us through this journey. Thank you, Ms. Delane, Ms. Fowler, and Mr. Woodward for being our emotional support during the ACT, college applications, and even high school drama. I would also like to thank the maintenance team for working tirelessly to keep our school tidy, and my cafeteria ladies for never failing to put a smile on my face going through that overcrowded lunch line. Most of all, thank you, class. I am grateful to have grown alongside all of you. I can't express what an honor this is to me. It is something I've always wanted. I must say, I owe most of my hard work and dedication to my family. Thank you, Carlos, Daniel, Gabby, Liz, Melissa, and especially my parents. I would like to thank my parents for showing me what it means to strive for excellence. Ma y pa, gracias por enseñarme cómo trabajar duro. Because of that, I stand before you, proof that dreams come true. I dreamed of being on this stage. I want to inspire anyone who is like me, wants to do big things, and isn't afraid to work hard. Go for it, whatever it is that you want, because it is possible. Friends, today marks your passage into adulthood. You'll decide who you want to start a family with, the values you'll hold on to, the promises you'll honor. We have come a long way. Many things have changed in our lifetime. Technology is one of those things. The iPod was released in 2001, the same year some of you were born. And the iPhone was followed 6 years later. Most of us were only 3 when YouTube began, 4 when Twitter started, and 8 launched. Heck, we weren't even teenagers during social media trends like the Harlem Shake and the Ice Bucket Challenge. While all those things are nice to look back on, there are quite a few more important events that have shaped our generation. To put things into perspective, we were born in the shadow of the worst terrorist attack in our nation's history and are graduating in the midst of a global pandemic. Most of us were only 6 years old when the first African-American president was elected into office. Let us continue to evolve in order to build a better future. I know we are living through unprecedented times, but we will triumph once again. This isn't the first time we have been challenged. Just this year, we went through an administrative change. It was scary because we didn't know how our new principal would be. But I am grateful that we soon found out that he really cared for us. He always had our best interests in mind. He looked to form personal relationships with us, and he was willing to let us try new things. Thank you, Dr. Turner. It may seem that something is always getting in our way, but we are still here. This pandemic has taught me that things may not always go the way we want them to, but we need to be willing to adapt. We need to realize that at any point in our lives, our time can be cut short. I hope that COVID-19 has taught us all what is truly important. Class of 2020, maybe you didn't get to finish your last year playing sports, be in the spring show, or perform in your spring concert. Maybe we didn't get the chance to execute our senior prank, or get recognized for our achievements at awards night. I know we sure didn't expect senior skip day to last this long, but everything happens for a reason. Matthew 6:34 says, "So don't worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will bring its own worries. Today's trouble is enough for today." Perhaps COVID-19 has taught you patience. Perhaps it has taught you maturity. Maybe you have learned to appreciate someone just a little extra. Whatever the case may be, I want to commend you for getting through this. This pandemic cannot stop us from getting our diploma. Our perseverance and resilience has shown that nothing can hold us back, and that is inspiring. We are who we are, not because of what happens to us, but because of how we respond. Hold on to these experiences, the good and the bad. You'll reminisce on the rides home from football games, homecoming week, prom, and late nights with your friends. We don't know what the future holds, but we do know that we'll get through it together. Congratulations, class of 2020. We've made it. Thank you.
Thank you, Yessie. I've given quite a bit of thought to the remarks that I'm going to deliver tonight. Frankly, I've had a speech ready to go for probably about a month now, and I felt really good about it. I felt like it touched on a lot of good themes, and I felt like it addressed a lot of the things that we were going through. The problem, though, is that it addresses a lot of things that you have heard from others quite eloquently that they've done, both here and in other places. And I was beginning to be afraid that you would be tired of hearing the same thing. And I wanted to leave you with something that I thought that you might remember. You know, I was going to talk about how the year didn't go as we hoped, and you know, how you had to deal with an unprecedented crisis and all of that stuff. But again, you've heard all of that before. So as a result, I decided to go off script, and at about 2 o'clock today, I wrote what was on my mind. And so I ask you to bear with me for a second, because I want to tell you a quick story about my weekend, and then I'm going to roll it all around into how it relates to you. So last week, some close friends of mine invited my family to Panama City on Friday and Saturday. My wife and I, along with our 2 boys, one's 9, one's 3, we made the trip south late Friday afternoon. When we go, we usually stay away from the typical normal spots because we don't stay at a hotel. Our friends live relatively close, so we stay with them. And then we go to the beach at the state park. And that's my favorite place. The reason it's my favorite place is because about 20 years ago, I took up surfing. Hard to imagine, I know. But it really became kind of a passion of mine. And so every year, I try to go back at least a couple of times to that spot there at St. Andrews State Park, right next to that big jetty, where on good days the waves can roll in, and I try to relive some of my wave riding glory years during those times. So by the time we arrived, we changed clothes, got everybody down to the beach. It was about 6 o'clock at that point, and it was dusk. It was beginning to set in. And I was immediately excited. The reason being is because it wasn't crowded. It was nothing like the TV show. Thankfully, at the state park, they limit crowds, so it was actually very nice, and it was really kind of deserted except for just a few people. The water was crystal clear. The waves were really good, to the point where some of them were about chest high, which really is nice wave riding size. It's really good. So I got my board and I went out. The water was rough, red flags were flying, so not many people really ventured to go very deep, but of course, you know, if you're surfing waves, you got to go out there. So I paddled out. Decided to paddle around a little bit to get acclimated, but pretty soon I couldn't wait any longer. So a good sized one came, and I headed into it, stood up. Problem was I was a little rusty. It's been a couple of years since I've rode some surf that was that high, and as a consequence, I misstepped and wiped out pretty hard. I went under and I was tossed around. I call it the spin cycle, where you fall off and the water comes crashing down, and then you just kind of get tossed around up underwater for what seems to be kind of a long time. And so I came up and I got my head out of the water, and it was one of those moments where it was kind of like, what just happened? I had what felt like a pretty severe sand burn on my back. Somehow I banged my knee on a rock that was down there, and I felt like I hyperextended my elbow. And all of these things, by the way, that was on Friday. They still hurt. When you are 43, it's different than when you're 23. You guys are going to learn about that at some point, though. But at that point, I was finding it very tempting to head back to shore, but undeterred, I went back out, and I stood up on a few waves, and then all of a sudden, I kept at it, and a really good one came along. It was a perfect ride. Perfect ride. It was smooth. It was long-lasting. I watched the water rush beneath my feet. When I glanced up, I saw it was one of the most beautiful sunsets that you could ever see. And I want to give you a description of what that feels like in terms of surfing terms. If you've ever studied really hard and aced the test, if you're a band member and you've ever worked hard on a difficult piece of music and when it came time to shine, you really nailed it. If you've ever scored a touchdown, made a big play, scored a goal, aced in tennis, scored in soccer, whatever kind of accomplishments that you've had that you kept at it, and all of a sudden it turned out really great. That's what it's like. And so afterwards, after the ride, I paddled back out behind where the waves were breaking, and I just kind of sat on my board. I looked at the shore. I saw my two boys. They were kind of waving at me as if they were proud of Dad. It looked pretty cool, I guess, that Dad was out there doing something like that. And then also, once again, I looked out and I saw the sunset, which just looked like it went on forever over the water. And it was the type of experience that was so great that it stays with you for quite a while. Believe it or not, it was also at that moment that I frankly thought of all of you. And I thought about this day, and I thought about this evening. I thought about the experiences that you've had and the life that you've got in front of you. And I want to tell you how it relates with really a couple of points. First of all, life is going to give you setbacks. Things are not going to go always as you plan. Sometimes you're going to wipe out. Sometimes you're going to get tossed in that spin cycle. And you're going to have a sand burn on your back that's kind of bleeding, which it was disturbing enough because there was also a purple flag which denotes dangerous life. If you've ever seen Shark Week, that's not good, okay? But sometimes you're going to have those things happen to you. You'll have challenges, you'll have difficulties, and you'll have failures. But I want you to realize this, that as those things happen, guys, the waves keep rolling in. They keep coming. Other waves will come, and out of challenges, new and often exciting opportunities present themselves. As those waves come, they're like new opportunities. They're like new chances to succeed. And I want you to understand that as you go through life, you are not going to be defined by your setbacks. You won't be defined by the times that you fell off. You won't be defined by the times where you may have failed or you may have struggled. What you're going to be defined by is how you responded to the opportunities that presented themselves from those times. When difficulties arise, you can work to persevere, learn, and then ultimately grow as a person. That'll be a key to your success, is how you respond to tough times. Secondly, if you keep working at it, whether it's your life, whether it's your family, whether it's your job, if you keep working at it, beautiful moments can and will happen for you. You can have those times where you can look at a sunset and you can see beautiful things out ahead of you. As seniors, the world is in front of you. The front windshield for y'all is great. One of the things I've always said is that the front windshield's a lot bigger than the rearview mirror. And for you all, the windshield is huge. I haven't been here long, but one thing that I have been here long enough to know is that y'all are a special group of students. Y'all are a great group. I really did enjoy knowing y'all. It was cut short, and I was very disappointed at that. But y'all have the world in front of you. Sky's the limit. You're entering a time where you can truly make life valuable by the choices you make. All of you have gifts, and how you choose to use them matter a great deal. In fact, from day one, I've told y'all, what you do and who you are matters. You can make choices every second of every day to affect those around you positively by being a better son or daughter, brother or sister, or even a friend. And now, you can choose how you want to make your mark as a contributing member of society. You all have the ability to use the individual gifts that you have for good in our world, to make our world a better place in your unique way. That's what makes each of you special. I want you to know that I have faith that you will do those things. I'm proud of every one of you, and we're counting on you to be able to lead us as we go forward. And I know that you will make us proud. Before the presentation of diplomas, because now we're getting to the moment we're all waiting for, we want to remind friends and families of our graduates to hold the applause until the seniors' names have been read. We believe that each one of these young men and women deserves the dignity and honor to hear his or her name and receive the diploma in an appropriate manner. Graduation is an important ceremony, and it's also a formal one. So on behalf of the class of 2020, I respectfully ask to show your pride and support for these outstanding students by refraining from noise during the presentation of diplomas. Now, once again, I would like to ask Mr. Elliot Gage, president of the senior class, to come join me at the podium. Come on up, Elliot.
Will the class of 2020 please stand? Dr. Turner, I now present the class of 2020 as candidates for graduation.
I accept the presented class of 2020 as candidates for graduation from Chelsea High School. You may please be seated.
Yesenia Villanueva Navarra. Andrew Bryant Messier. Victoria Suzanne Schmier. Sarah Jordan Hyde. Elliot James Gage. Caitlin Baker Nail. Sarah Doan. Alexander Daniel Ballman. Reagan Victoria Ferguson. Morgan Lee Bright. Sophie Erin Skillern. Baker Anderson Hicks. Darielle Anye Miller. Mally Margaret Engel. Sally Jane Robinson. James Connor Mims. Allison Sky Carroll. Savannah Kathleen Trout. Justin Lee Galloway. Kinsley Joy Fuller. Austin Shane Fry. Harmony Nicole Hill. Matthew Jack McCutcheon. Elizabeth Bell Land. Grant Michael Lamb. Lindsay Walton. Lauren Elizabeth Kirkendall. Farah Renee Franks. Madeline Elizabeth Blackburn. Lindsay Reagan Burt. Riley Grace Grant. Carolyn Phillips Hunter. Garrett Benjamin Fry. Riley Delano Thornton. Wesley Andrew Lamberson. Brent Franklin Jones. Jackson Scott Hamilton. William Tice Adema. Taylor Marie Duzan. Nicholas Matthew McNeil. Madison Lee Shuttlesworth. Malia Elizabeth Kraft. Nolan Thomas Evans. Grant Allen Cooper Lang. Dorothy Emma Hunter. Lauren Elizabeth Hotchkiss. John Patrick Shaw. Callan Grace Smith. Abigail Eileen Craddock. Jacob William Tierney. Ian Michael Lee McDavid. Emily Grace Lamberson. Caleb Alexander Moore. Shelby Elizabeth Levitt. Sarah Olivia Moore. Luke Alexander Haywood. Sarah Elizabeth Curran. Brody Christopher Coolidge. Sydney Adams. Zachary Graves Adams. Sarah Myrna Alley. Hunter James Anderson. Laura Grace Anderson. Tiara Nicole Banks. Brooklyn Grace Bentley. William Cole Berryman. Austin Jade Black. Grant Andrew Blankenmeyer. Benjamin Joseph Bliss. Jacob Stephen Boyle. Aiden Royce Bradley. Anna Caroline Brassfield. Delaney Duran Brazier. Parker Riley Brown. David Lee Bryan. Abigail Isabella Briers. Christian Ryan Bullard. Brooke Alexis Burback. Rachel Ann Birchfield. Abigail Elizabeth Burley. Bethany Celeste Byers. Austin William Callahan. Tiana Sarah Kaysen. Stephen Cotney Castleberry Jr. Isabella McKinley Cavender. Jacob Hunter Chambly. David Stanton Cheek. Colby Bryson Clements. Evan Blake Crow. Brooklyn Alyssa Colwell. Gavin Patrick Curran. Dalton Alexander Curry. Madison Marie Kimsey Davis. Morgan Faith Davis. Akayla Janelle DeRamus. Philip Freeman Dyson. Tram Bao Dome. Maya Simone Dobbins. Addison Cole Draper. Thomas Callaway Dunn. Kennedy Elizabeth Edwards. Jordan Makayla Ellett. Ashlyn Suzanne Eskridge. Emma Jewel Evans. Emma Brooke Fields. Dalton Blake Formby. Carter James Frederick. Alexander Joseph Fritz. James David Frost. Joseph Henry Gage. Bradley Aaron Gardner. Ladarius Quinte Gary. Alfrey Fornity Bargay. Michael Christian Gibbs. Nathan Lamar Gladwell. Jackson Carey Goosetree. Alan Lewis Goss. Lauren Cherie Graham. Christian Nicholson Green. Josie Marie Green. Walsh Matthew Green. Dennis Alexis Gillen Ajala. Jacob Alexander Gullidge. Jaden Sue Habashi. Michael Alexander Haley. Carrington Joshua Hall. Allison Lee Han. Madison Francis Jones Harris. Mary Jan Harris. Stardasia Waltese Harris. Cameron Dale Harrison. Anne Catherine Hartsfield. Caleb Timothy Hemphill. Madison Lane Herndon. Tiana Denise Hill. Cameron Isaiah Henson. Davin Thin Hong. Maggie McKay Hodges. Ingram Catherine Holt. Abigail Laura Heitch. Hannah K. Engel. Kinley Rebecca Irwin. Maria Alejandro Jaramillo Quintero. Maxwell Trenton Johnson. Josie Morand Johnson. Maya Kaylee Johnson. Zachary Robert Johnson. Kayla Nicole Jones. Alexa Ann Kelson. Jonathan Donez Kennedy Junius. David Boyce Kerr. Kajani Zafir Jamil King. Madison Hope Knight. Brooke Ashley Kirkendall. Luke Tanner Lale. Bryce Aaron Lambert. Suki Lavelle Larkins. Jamie Madison Lawson. Michaela Scarberry Lee. Addie Grace Lewis. Chapman Marie Lewis. Cameron Tyler Lewis Gunn. Kaylee Paige Littleford. Zane Alexander Manderson. Maurice Marcel Marsh II. Olivia Brooke Marshall. Austin Christopher Martin. Morgan Elizabeth McCarthy. Harrison Mitchell Magaha. Ethan David McGrady. Alice Caitlin McGregor. James Matthew McGregor. Justin Taylor McGregor. Bailey Drew McIntyre. Mason Scott McKeever. Liam Joseph McLean. David Nathaniel Myers. Nicole Michelle Mahalik. Daly Victoria Mims. Ivan Mondragon Cayetano. Robert Andrew Montgomery. Jet Bridges Moore. James Brady Morgan. Tiffany Gail Morris. Carmen Mackenzie Mosley. Rebecca Gail Mueller. Luis Sherelle Mirante Gonzalez. Daniel Allen Musgrave. Joshua Jefferson Manev. Connor Chase Nauert. Cooper Woods Neal. William Joseph Neighbors. Kaylin Marie Nelson. Kwok Fong U. Jackson Scott Nichols. Meredith Auburn Norwood. Gray Howard Oldenburg. Jordan Taylor Parker. Charles Daniel Parkinson. Yagna Prithvish Patel. Isabella Christine Patterson. Skylar Michelle Payne. Kayla Perez Enriquez. Manuel Perez Zamora. Daisy Isabel Perez. Harrison Bryant Phillips. Michael Freeman Pownell. Madison Kate Proctor. Emily Ann Pulmano. Mary Catherine Pulmano. Richard Feeney Rabanal IV. Avery Campbell Rains. Presley Davis Rains. Mario Miguel Ramirez. Timothy Lee Ransom. Regan Ashley Roush. Itzel Razo Madrid. Alice Casey Redman. Caitlin Elise Reedy. James Holden Reed. Gage Michael Roden. Carson Ray Rich. Melissa Suzanne Ridgway. Callie Sage Rennick. Oscar Rivera. Caleb Junias Robinson. Edienes Chasey Rodriguez Gonzalez. Kaylee Ruth Rogers. Joseph Edmund Roll. Thomas Edward Root. William Nathaniel Ross. Alicia Nicole Russo. Thomas Bryant Royster. Kelsey Catherine Ruiz. David Ryan Rushing. Thomas Joel Sams. David Grant Arnold Sainer. Kevin Alexis Santillan Mercado. Pimika Simitat. Dalton Lee Shaddix. Brady Ray Shellnut. Joshua Sims Shepard. Caleb Raymond Shin. Erin Andrea Simpson. Gianna Siriano. Elizabeth Schuyler Slaughter. Jordan Joachim Smith. Mary Connor Smith. Catherine Lynn Sneed. Zachary Scott Steele. Kaylee Brianna Stevens. Robert Gunn Stevenson. Casey Daniel Stewart. Jonathan Noah Stewart. Cody Braden Suggs. Ashley Paige Swift. Brittany Fernanda Tadeo Roscoe. Hayden Morgan Taylor. Jordan Michael Thomas. Macy Shannon Thomas. Mackenzie Marie Thomason. Christina Joanna Thompson. Catherine Elizabeth Thompson. Bryson Ty Thornell. Brianna Taylor Traffica. Anna Catherine Tubb. Amelia Lane Tucker. Aaron Lee Tyler. Daniel Paul Tyler. Garrett Harrison Tyler. Jose Guadalupe Valencia Castillo. Madison Elena Van Housen. Gavin Oakley Vernon. Ridley Garrett Vernon. Matthew Allen Waller. Hannah Elizabeth Ware. Maggie Grace Weaver. Megan Brooke Weldon. Chloe Lauren Wenzel. Ava Elizabeth West. William Jared West. Dakota Scott Whitaker. Alyssa Jane Wilbanks. Richard Hugh Wilbanks, Jr. Brady Owen Wilder. Anna Claire Williams. Sophie Smith Williams. Torilena Renee Winningham. Edward Garrett Wise. Savannah Brooke Wise. China Ayana Wren. Rihanna Waleed Yusuf. Taylor Elizabeth Zinda.
Please stand. Seniors, I officially pronounce you 2020 graduates of Chelsea High School. You may move your tassels to the left. Congratulations, Chelsea High School 2020 graduates. We are proud of you. Will the audience also please stand as Mrs. Kay Dick leads us in the alma mater?